The 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory Tuesday witnessed massive protests by organized labor. The unionists were demanding that President Muhammadu Buhari draft and transmit a new minimum wage bill to the National Assembly. Though the federal government has promised to submit the bill to the parliament on 23rd of January, the president Wednesday inaugurated an advisory committee on the implementation of the new minimum wage with clearly spelled out terms of reference.
The terms of reference of the committee are A. To develop and advise government on how to successfully bring about a smooth implementation of the impending wage increases. B. Identify new revenue sources as well as areas of existing expenditure from where some savings could be made in order to fund the wage increases without adversely impacting the nation's development goals as set out in the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan. C. Propose a work plan and modalities for the implementation of the salary increases.
The president also explained the reason behind federal government's decision to carry state governments along in the process of actualizing the new minimum wage.
It is important to explain that even though the subject of a national minimum wage is in the exclusive legislative list, we have been meeting with the state governors because it is imperative that the federal government carries along the state governments in determining any upward review of the minimum wage for workers. This is essentially necessary considering the prevailing public sector revenue challenges, which have made it extremely difficult for some of the governments to pay workers as and when due.
Chairman of the newly inaugurated Presidential Advisory Committee on New Minimum Wage is Bismarck Rewan. Others on the board from the private sectors are former chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service FIRS, Mrs. Ifoeku Omoigi-Okaro, Suleiman Bara, Ayo Teriba, and Professor Akpan Ekpo. Those from the public sector include the chairman of FIRS, Mr. Babatunde Foiler, Director General of the Budget Office, Ben Akabueze, who is also the secretary of the committee, and the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum and Zamfara State Governor Abdulaziz Yari. Others are the special advisor to the president on economic matter, Dr. Adeyemi Dipolu, Deputy Governor of the Central Bank on economic policy matters, Dr. Joseph Nnenna, and the Accountant General of the Federation, Mr. Ahmed Idris. As President Muhammadu Buhari inaugurates the Presidential Advisory Committee on the new minimum wage implementation, one thing Nigerians will be asking, which is still the same, is how can state governors who cannot pay the 18,000 naira minimum wage but had to depend on the president for bailout and some tranches of the Paris Club reform pay the 30,000 naira minimum wage. But as someone put it, miracles do happen. From the Aso Rock Presidential Villa, I'm Ikharo Attah, ITV News, Abuja.